Hello everyone. So today's problem is image smoother. So let's read out the statement. So at first I find it a little difficult to understand this problem. So what this problem is trying to ask is we have given a 2D array of m cross n, and for the each and individual index we need to find out the average of a 3 cross 3 matrix around it, and we need to replace that index with the value of that average, so that putting that average of that index is the problem is calling as smoothing. The now this image has become smooth. So let's read out the statement. An image smoother is a filter of size 3 cross 3 that can be applied to each cell of an image by rounding down the average of the cell and the 8 surrounding cells. That is the average of the 9 cells in the blue smoother. So this blue smoother you can see here. So this blue smoother is for the index 7. So to make this thing uh, a bit simpler, I have drawn an image. Let's see that. Okay, so this is our m cross n matrix. And for the first index, that is for the 1, if we draw a 3 cross 3 matrix, keeping this particular index in the center, it will look something like this matrix. And we will then take the average of all these 9 values, including this one, and then we will replace this value by that average. So that is what we have to do. Fine. Now, what about these positions? So these values are not there, so we have to ignore them for these values which are present at corners and at the side of the matrix. So for that, we need to apply some logic that we will see in the coding part. So without wasting any time, let's jump into the code directly. Okay, so let's go to the code. So for this to understand, there is one thing that we need to do. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, fine. Okay, so first we need to define an answer matrix where we can return the smoothed uh, uh, array. So for that, first let's define a variable with name m, and that will be m dot length. So it will be the size of our this is the size of our given matrix. Fine. Then what will be the width of this given matrix? So we will take any column m. So let's take the 0th column and take the length of that. Now we have the depth and breadth both of this given m array. Now we will define one 2D answer array. Let's name it as answer and new int. So its width will be m and its depth will be n. Fine. Now I will iterate over this matrix, and for each position I will try to find out the average. Okay, so for that I need to run a for loop, nested for loop. So I'll go with that something like this. For int, let's say row equals 0 and row less than m and row plus plus. For int column equals 0 and column less than n and column plus plus. Okay, and this function will go to each index. So suppose our element is something, the current element, I'll name it as current, and it will be m of m of r and c. So current is this, and I need to update the value of this r and c to the average of the surrounding, those surrounding 9 elements. So to do that, I have to uh, I'll define a function which will do that task. But for the time being, I will just write that function so that everything will look easier. Let's paste it here and okay, and this will be something like this. So there will be some function which is taking your current row position, your column position, and taking your this matrix m, and it will give you an integer. That value will be set to the current position. Okay, and I do not need this thing. No, I can't do that. Okay, I made a mistake. So I will be getting that int smoothed value. Okay, I will be getting this smooth value from this function, and I will be setting this to the answer array, because if we'll change the current array, then for upcoming values, it will create a problem. So how it will create a problem? Let's see here. So if I will be changing this index in this same array, then for the 2, this value has changed. Then the average will become changed drastically for this second position. And same will happen for other indexes also. So that's why we are not making any changes to this current array. And we have defined a new answer array. Okay. So that answer array, I'll be changing the index to that answer array. There will be one answer 2D array, and I'll be putting those corresponding changes from here, from this uh, from I will calculate from this in this, and I'll be putting into this answer array. So that's why I will be assigning the answer of r comma, and that is c, will be equal to smoothed value. Fine. So this is done, and we will return in the end this answer array. In the end, we will return this. Let's return answer. That's it. This is the entire code. But now you can see we have not implemented this smooth function. That is something different, but this is the entire logic. It will take some values, and it will give us the some integer value. So to do that, let's define a method, private method in this class, and it will return us integer, and let's name it smooth. Okay, and it will take our row, and it will take our column, and it will take our matrix. Let's name it as mat. Okay, fine. So that's it. Now, uh, now what I'll do here, I will iterate from row r minus 1 to row plus 1 if we are in the current row, to column minus 1 to column plus 1 if we are in the current column C. So let's see. So for this index 1, the current row is R, right? And the current column is C. So we need to iterate from R minus 1 to this row R plus 1, and from column C minus 1 to column C plus 1. So we will cover all the elements, and if they are not present, we need to ignore them. So how we will ignore them? We will just take the uh, any of the value, whether it is 0 or R minus 1. Suppose uh, we are calculating for this 1. Fine. And for this 1, the value of R minus 1, the value of R minus 1 is minus 1. And we know if we try to find out the value at index minus 1, it will give us an exception, out of bound exception. Okay. So we will take the max of 0, whether it is, so the minimum value can be 0 for this row. Okay. So we will take the max of 0 and R minus 1. And same will be for the column. We will take the max of column minus 1 or 0, because for this position, we cannot move, uh, we cannot take the negative indexes. Or same is the case for these right side. We cannot move the defined size. So defined side is the width, is the width of the array. We cannot move up till here, and we cannot go down up till here. So for that, we need to take the minimum of, that is C plus 1, and the length of this column, of this row, and the depth of this matrix, the minimum of this index, that is R plus 1, and this depth. So let's see this in the code. Okay. So for that, I will take integer. Let's copy paste this thing, because anyway we are going to use this. Okay, fine. So this is the length of the matrix, and this is the depth of the matrix, that is the limit for the columns. So now I will take one variable, that is start row. Let's take as start row, and it will be uh, start row shouldn't be less than 0. So we can have row minus 1. Okay. So it shouldn't be less than minus 1. So it should be between uh, row minus 1 should not be less than 0. This is the logic. Okay. So we will take the max of math dot max of row minus 1 comma 0. So this will be our start. Then we will take one more variable, that is end row, and end row will be math dot min row plus 1 comma m. Okay, fine. And similarly, I'll take for columns also, start column will be math dot max column plus 1 comma 0, and column will be math dot min it is column -1 and math.main column +1 comma n. Okay, fine. So these are the uh, we have set the limits for our desired area. Now we will be iterating inside our given matrix, not outside. So that's it. Fine. Now we will have one value that we will be returning. So we'll initiate with this 0 and we will have one sum because we need a value. We'll be adding all the values. So then we will count those values also because we need to divide this sum by the count. Then only we will be getting the average. And after defining all this, we will run our for loop, that is int r equals start row. So we will begin with the start row and r less than, because anyway we will be moving to so it can be m-1, okay, because those will also give us exceptions, because at m index there will be, because our array starts from 0 to uh, from 0, so it goes to 0 to length -1, okay. So that's why I have subtracted 1 from this m and n, otherwise we would get exceptions. And I will use here less than equal and row, and row plus plus, and I'll run one more loop inside this. In column equals start column, and column less than equals and column, and column plus plus, column plus plus. Fine. Now inside this I will take this value, let's name it as well, from matrix. So this is mat of R and C, and I'll be adding this value to our sum plus equals value, and I'll be counting at every iteration that how many values are there. So we have get this now here, and what will be our final value, okay. Or instead of naming this as value, we should name this as average, okay. And I will iterate this, and I will update our average to as sum divided by count, and I will return this average. Okay, so this function is also done. Okay, fine. So this smooth function is done, and this code is also done. So let's try to run this, and let's check if it is working or not. And I have a compilation error because I've copy pasted this m.length from this piece of code, and here the name of the matrix is m. That's why you should always copy paste smartly, and I need to make it met and met. Now I think it should work. Let's check it. And it has got accepted. These green dots gives you a bit of satisfaction, and that's required for your progress. Let's try to submit this and let's check if it is working. Something happened. Something happened. Something happened. Let's try to submit it again. Okay, I think it is full screen. That's why it is not showing me the correct. Okay, there are some issues with this. So it has got accepted. Let's try to submit it once more. So that, yeah, so it has got accepted and it is good. It is giving us some. So the time complexity is big O of m cross n because the size of this array is m cross n. And for this loop, this smooth, we are running for constant length, that is 9 elements. So that's why it won't affect the time complexity much. And space complexity is also big O of m cross n because we are using this answer matrix. Okay, fine. So this is it about this explanation. And if you like this video, please share with your friends and subscribe to the channel and keep learning and keep growing. All the best from my side. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.